Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You movement. Or maybe I should say, welcome to the Twilight Zone. Because that's kind of where I'm at the present moment in time. I don't know what time it is. Sleep has evaded me this evening. And there's a lot of anniversaries. The 25th of September, yesterday, was the 4-year anniversary of my spontaneous Kundalini awakening. So I had the question posed to me actually in the Spiritual Warrior Support Group Zoom meeting that just passed on Wednesday, asking about the twin flame journey, asking about Kundalini awakenings and, the processes. And I've talked in a good few videos about how, from my personal experience, I think that the awakening process, although it differs, no doubt, for everybody, I have noticed a certain pattern in my own awakening that goes a little bit like this. There's the pre-awakening phase. And the pre-awakening phase for me started probably in and around 2015, 2016. And it was like sinking into like just a bottomless pit of despair. I was despondent. I was, if you look at the emotional frequency picture that I've shown in many, many videos, I'll post it again here. Down at the very, very bottom is like despondency, depression, despair. That's where I lived for a long period of time. And I used all of the coping strategies that I could get my hands on to kind of keep me alive. That was called survival. So survival to me was pharmaceuticals. I was on Cymbalta. I was on Wellbutrin for a period of time. I was on a couple of other antidepressants that were doing diddly shit. I was talking to my doctor about, potentially doing ketamine treatment. And she's like, well, you have to try this and you have to try that and you have to try this before we're going to approve a ketamine treatment. And even with the ketamine treatment, it's going to cost you about over $1,000. And at the time I didn't have over $1,000 for doing a ketamine treatment anyway. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try to figure out my own way to do things. So I started doing a little bit of research at that time. I don't know, 2017, 2018, I started researching and doing my own things because I had done the path that everyone else does for a period of time. When you get despondent and depressed and miserable, you go to the doctors and you say, yo, not doing well, and they give you a multiple choice test that you fill out on a little iPad, and then they determine that you have major depressive disorder because you answered 20 questions. And then they say, here, try these pharmaceuticals. Of course, none of those questions really take into account your environment. Environmental factors. None of those questions really take into account any history of your childhood and any trauma, because apparently trauma is not taught in medical schools. And even my favorite guru, Gabor Mate, talks about that a lot, about how all of his medical school training did not teach him about trauma. And now he's one of the leading experts in trauma. I am currently taking his Compassionate Inquiry short course, which is kind of designed for people who are in more a counseling role. I've also signed up for his masterclass called Heal. So I'm taking it from both angles. I'm taking it from the angle of somebody who's got a background in addictions counseling as a counselor who works with people who have addictions and trauma. I'm also taking it from the perspective of somebody who has trauma and went through addictions because, as I said, I was grasping on anything and everything to stay afloat. That was what survival is. So as he keeps repeating, and I'm going to keep repeating, trauma isn't what happens to you. It is what happens inside of you as a response to happening, what happens to you. So some people can go through a traumatic event and it's not going to be a traumatic event that they carry with them for the next 40 years because they may have a safe person to go and communicate whatever happened to them, So if they had a really emotional, upsetting situation and they had a safe person, and they're like, oh my God, I went to school and this happened and that boy did something to me. Small T trauma, bullying, or big T trauma. I went to Uncle Bob's house and he touched me inappropriately. That's wrong. I'm going to get you counseling. We're going to do child play therapy. We're going to charge Uncle, whatever his name is, one person has a safe person, the other child doesn't have a safe person. And so when you don't have a safe person that you can talk to about what's going on, when you have a traumatic event, you internalize that and you suck it in, you shove it down, and you're quiet because you can't talk to anybody. So dealing with the emotions becomes we're gonna hold it all inside of us. And so when we hold something inside of us, we develop coping strategies to survive. And those originally come up to keep us alive. It's actually very smart. In my case, learning to mask at a very young age shows intelligence, that you adapt or die. That's survival of the fittest. Adapt or die. So you quickly adapt and you become a people pleaser and you become a fawner and you become, whatever people want you to become. Because that prevents you from getting hit or prevents you from getting raged at or prevents you. So you morph your behavior into something that's going to keep you alive. And then over time, those adaptations become maladaptive, which means what originally worked for you in the long term becomes detrimental. So at age 15, smoking originally was amazing. I fucking loved it. The first cigarette I ever had, and I can remember, because crazy back then to even think about it, is we had a smoking area inside the school in a quadrangle that was it was inside the school, but it was an open area, and so people would go there. And I went into the smoking area one day. I wasn't a smoker, and somebody was like, yo, hey, you want a cigarette? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I liked it so much. I was like, oh, wow, this feels so yummy, delicious. And it gives me something to do with my hands. So smoking was one of my favorite things to do, because as an undiagnosed autistic person, I needed to find ways to mask and to stim that were socially acceptable. So smoking became a very, oh my God, always had, because you'll see I do this now all the time as a stim, and smoking was a really socially acceptable stim. So I always had a cigarette in my fingers, because it gave my fingers something to play with. And it gave my mouth something to do, and it gave my lungs a nice, soothing, maternal swaddling up of self-care. So when I first started smoking, it was fabulous. And, I took my smoking very seriously. I never treated it like, oh, I don't want to smoke. I was like, I fucking love smoking. When I bought myself a pack of smokes that day, and didn't look back, and I smoked for a good 20 years. So I did. And in my mid 30s, it didn't resonate with me. It made no sense. It was incongruent, because here I was becoming a Reiki master and getting all into spirituality and getting into health and wellness. And so it was an incongruent kind of thing. So I quit smoking for a period of time. And I used, just in case somebody wants to know, I used Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking, which is a book I highly recommend, as my tool at the time. Of course, I didn't heal the underlying issue that was at play. So I didn't. I have now. But I fell back off the wagon, the smoking wagon, maybe 10 years ago. I'm going to say, partly because my inner teenager was again activated in my dysfunctional marriage. And it was a way that I could rebel from him because he thought smoking was disgusting. And so that made me want to do it more. Because then he'd be like, ooh, gross, you smell, I don't want to touch you. And I was like, yes. Working. Maybe I'll smell so bad he'll leave. Of course that didn't work, but I tried with all my might. On a subconscious level. I wasn't like I was sitting there plotting and planning it. You have to understand, we behave from subconscious. Our subconscious is playing out. So my subconscious was like, maybe if I stink bad enough, he won't want to come near me and he'll leave me. That would be great. There were lots of other ways that I was trying to subconsciously get him to leave. In retrospect, I can see that now. But in that stage of pre-awakening is where I started from. In that stage of pre-awakening, when I was in my despondency, I was still using alcohol. Although my body really couldn't tolerate much alcohol. It had given up most of the alcohols. It was like alcohol quit me, one after another. So I was down to wine and tequila, were the only two alcohols that didn't make me physically ill. But they were my numbing agents. They were my way to be social. They were also my way to just zone out. And then there was the sugar of like, how many donuts can I shove in my mouth, and pizza and chips and anything else. Like, oh, I can't tolerate life. I'm going to swallow it down and swallow it down and swallow it down and swallow it down. So I was getting sicker and fatter and sicker and more diseased and more despondent and more disordered. And I was clocking up like disorders and health conditions and problems like they were hockey cards that I was collecting. And then in 2019 I got really sick, like very, very sick, and I thought I was going to die. Like, I really thought I was going to die. I think that was the first time that I went through like ego death. Like, I thought I was dying. And something clicked into action then, and I was like, I can't live like this. And I got a message from Spirit, which was like, save yourself. You need to save yourself. And so began the mission to save myself. And so the unfuck it list came to being. And, the unfucking movement came into being. And it started with me unfucking my diabetes first and the obesity first, because to me, the least desirable symptom that I had, and I had so many, like I could easily make a list of about 50 symptoms that I had, ranging all the way through my body. Like I had a file folder that was like this thick of all my conditions, of all the potential things that you could do to heal each one. But I had to pick the worst one. So I started with the worst one, and to me, the worst one was diabetes, because I was peeing myself. And the incontinence was disgusting for me. It was my rock bottom. You have to hit your rock bottom. And so that motivated me to start getting my health sorted. And so for a stretch, I was in kind of a bliss phase between 2019 and 2021. And when I say kind of a bliss phase, it was because I was motivated to make change. Yeah, I don't have to live my life like this. I can live my life differently. I can do different. I can eat different. I can sign up for an agent and get myself an agent and live out my childhood fantasies. I can stand up for myself. I can say, no, you can't speak to me like that. I can remember, actually the first time I said to my husband, I stood up in the middle of a dinner, and I was like, you can't talk to me like that anymore. And everybody's face was like, what the fuck just happened? So yeah, I was getting motivated. I was getting powerful. I was getting strong. I was out doing my aligned walking. I was doing my yin yoga. I was go, go, go. I was doing my ABLE program. And things were going good. And then, I had that soul recognition thing that happens with that, twin flame or catalyst soul, that triggered my Kundalini. So 4 years ago, yesterday, I had a spontaneous Kundalini eruption that just tore through my entire body. And that's what turned my, at one stage, kind of cool bliss phase awakening, this is going great. And it kind of hijacked it and turned it into overdrive. And it's like an awakening on speed or an awakening on steroids. It just went fucking nuts, after that. It just went nuts. The purging, the releasing, the trauma, the memories, the stuff that was just pouring out of me, literally pouring out of me, was absolutely insane. And that's when, I kind of equate Kundalini energy to be very similar in nature to the energy of Kali. And I don't know if you know Kali as a goddess, but she's the one often depicted like this. That's coming after you, and she is the goddess of destruction. She's coming in on a wrecking ball, and she's going to fucking destroy your life, because anything that's not in alignment with your soul has got to go. So Kali came in, and one thing after another, she just burned my life to the ground. Just burned my life. She came in and she's like, no more of these pharmaceuticals. No more of this dyeing of your hair or it's going to fall out, was the threat. And I was like, okay, I don't want to lose my hair. I'm going to stop dyeing it. No more makeup. No more your best friend. She's got to go. No more marriage. No more being in an abusive relationship with your mother. That's got to go. And so, one thing after another, all these real intense trauma bonds that I had previously been in were beginning to collapse and crumble and disintegrate, and it was fucking brutal. So 2021, that Kundalini kicked off and put into motion this Kali energy that came through and just destroyed everything. I was going through the weirdest symptoms and the weirdest stuff, a lot of stuff that I didn't understand at the time. I really didn't understand what was happening to me, especially when it came to that whole twin flame phenomenon, because, all of a sudden I'm feeling this mad, passionate love for this human that's just poking me. They're not actually physically poking me, but energetically, they're poking every single wound that I have, and everything's happening and everything's coming up, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm asking for a divorce, and I'm telling my mother, that's it, goodbye, and I'm hanging up the phone. And I'm just one thing after another. And then a year later, after I cut my mother off, she died. So my mother died November of 2022, which set into motion probably one of the worst experiences of my entire life, which was and has been a 3-year legal battle that I have been in. Her will suspiciously she fired her lawyer that had been in my family for 20 odd years more a month before she died. Of course, I wasn't speaking to her, so I didn't know about any of this. A month before she died, she fired her lawyer and hired another lawyer, and her will was redrafted. And it was drafted in such a manner that it was illogical in how they were going to deal with it. It was also further illogical because my mother had always stated that my cousin was supposed to be the executor of the will. And now, all of a sudden, the executor of the will was actually a bank in the back of Beyond in Saskatoon in Canada. So Saskatoon, if you don't know, is like the fucking nowhere land. It's in the middle of the country. It's nowhere. Where I live, my family lives, and we have lived our entire, my entire life in Ontario, which is the banking capital of Canada. So to have the executor of the will in some obscure bank that's not even in the banking capital of Canada in which we live, 1,000,001 red flags went off. And I could see from the get-go that alarm bells were ringing and something wasn't right. So you have a shifty lawyer that recreates a will and puts in charge of the will a bizarre bank in the middle of fucking nowhere. And then, boom, lo and behold, we don't know how to, deal with this will. So you're going to have to get lawyers so that you can all be represented. So I have... there were 4 of us listed as beneficiaries on the will. My mother owned my house, my previous house that I used to live in. So they demanded that 2 of us lawyer up because 2 of the beneficiaries were kids, young adults. And so they had a set amount of money being given to them, and that left myself and my brother. And they forced us to lawyer up. And I knew because, having the gift of sight is very frustrating at times, because I knew their goal was to pit us against each other and drag it out for as long as possible. Because if you pit 2 family members against each other, all that does is it feeds all the lawyers. Right? Every single lawyer gets rich, and I lose money, and family members lose money. So I was like, hey, stop, wait, I know what's happening. Let's try to work this out. Let's figure this out. And so I got a lawyer, and from the get-go, I said, under no circumstances do I want to screw anybody. I want to do what's in the best interest. I want this to go peacefully. I want this to go smoothly. I want this to go fair. So I was playing with one set of rules, not realizing that that's not how it was being played on the other side. So you've seen me for the last 3 years, if you've been following me, going through all kinds of crazy on, am I going? Am I staying? Can I stay? Can I go? What's happening? So I was trapped in a situation where, they had originally asked, do you want to keep your house? And I was like, well, if I can, can I have the math? If you show me what the math is, then I can tell you whether it's reasonable enough, whether I want to keep the house or not. But they didn't show me the math. upon request. Those numbers were not forthcoming because I asked, where is the discrepancy on how the estate is to be divided? Just can you give me a rough estimate of like, if I keep my house, how much do I owe to equalize the estate? That number was never given to me. So it was not. So I said, perhaps stupidly, perhaps not, well, if I can keep my house, that would be great, because I'm in the middle of having a Kundalini. I'm in the middle of going through a divorce. I'm in the middle of like being in a ball in my bed and like barely able to cope. I'm in chronic pain with this undiagnosed, or more to the correct, misdiagnosed, because I have a fistula that has been discovered now after 3 teeth has been pulled. But before that, they misdiagnosed it as trigeminal neuralgia, and they wanted to give me brain surgery and clip the nerve in the back. The brain surgeon wanted to clip a nerve in the back, and I was like, wait a second here. I got pain in my tooth, and so you want my entire right side of my face to have no feeling? Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, I'm not doing that surgery. We're going to keep looking. And it took me 5 dentists, 1 endodontist, 1 periodontist, 1 biological shyster dentist, a doctor, a neurosurgeon, a neurologist, a homeopathic guy, naturopathic doctor, an osteopath, and finally, I found 1 dentist after all the 5 that was willing to pull this tooth after 5 years of like excruciating pain. Like, I mean, like level 10 excruciating pain. And when they pulled that tooth, I discovered through taking photographs of my mouth that there was in fact a hole beside this tooth and another hole into the roof of my mouth. So there is a tunnel there. So most fistulas go from a hole here up into the sinus. I had 2 CAT scans. Oh, I also saw an ear, nose, throat doctor. That one took 4.5 years to get into and get tests for. But there was no sinus involvement. I've also had cone beam scans, x-rays, and an MRI. And nobody, 0 people, 0 medical people came up with the right diagnosis. I did. And then I found myself an oral surgeon. And so I'm still undergoing this, and I have more tests next week. So here I am. I'm lying in bed, sucking on ice cubes, in a ball, going through fucking hell. I finally managed to get my ex-husband out of the house, which in itself took fucking forever to do. I have legal letters coming in every single day, costing me thousands of dollars. I have no income coming in whatsoever. I'm living off of credit cards and my renters that I had, my soul kids, that was, keeping me afloat. I'm under the belief that, we're all working towards getting a finalized, let's get this solved. And so after about 2 years of me like making 1,000,001 suggestions of how this could be done really easily, every single suggestion I made came back with like 1,000,000 nitpicky little things of like, well, you're going to have to pay for this and you're going to have to pay for that. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'll pay. Can we get this resolved? I'll pay it. If we can get it resolved, let's get it resolved. So I kept agreeing to anything that came back. I agreed to, because I just wanted to get it resolved. And in and around a year and a half ago, so we're a year and a half in, and I'm like, I'm sunk so far in already at this point, I'm like, listen, let's just sell the house. Let's just sell the house. And I'm advised, no, you can't do that now because we've been in negotiations for a year and you're going to get sued and you're going to be liable for like tens of thousands of dollars and have to pay everybody's legal fees. So under duress, I kept moving forward. Because that was the legal advice that I was given. And then a whole bunch of truth bombs landed on my head. And I can't go into detail of those, but needless to say, it was a bad faith deal. That had been negotiated out. Vital information had previously not been given to me. So in due diligence, I legally had every right to say, fuck this. I am not signing these agreements. And we were like right up against it. And my lawyer basically said, sign. You got to sign. This is the only way you're going to get the deed to the house so that you can sell it. You want to sell right away, then you have to sign this agreement. And I was like, and then I can get my house and sign. So this is last year, a full year ago. We finally signed these agreements and I'm like, okay, when am I getting the deed? When's the next thing happening? And that was bullshit is what it was, because then there needed to be more agreements and more lawyers worked out. So originally I had a lawyer and there was a lawyer against and a lawyer representing the bank. So 3 lawyers. Then there needed to be additional lawyers to negotiate the terms of a private mortgage agreement to be held between myself and my brother. So that was 2 more lawyers, all of which I was responsible to pay for. I was because I kept saying, I'll agree to anything if we can get this resolved. Let's just get this resolved. I'll agree. Yes, it's going to cost me more money. And it's ended up costing me tens of thousands of dollars. And my one of my last lawyers, when I was again signing to get the deed, so I signed all this paperwork through the years. My real estate lawyer was like, because first I had a real estate litigation lawyer, then I had a real estate lawyer, and he is like, "Are you sure you want to sign this? That's a fuck ton of the money that they're making you pay for everything." They're making you pay for his lawyers, your lawyers, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, if this gets me peace, I will sign it. If peace costs me $40,000, I'll sign it. But I think they thought that I was going to fight and then it would go on. But I knew, I had already heard warnings from other people that estate litigation could go on for 10 possible years. I don't have 10 years in me. So I'm like, if that's what it costs me to get this out of my fucking life, then like do it. So I signed it. I signed it. And it was legal extortion without question. And if they want to sue me, go right ahead. Sue me. It was 100% legal extortion. I was signed under duress. The circumstances of the case would boggle anyone's mind. And I finally got access to my deed, and that was back in February of this year. And then I took a couple months to like regather myself, and then boom, I'm like, okay, we got to sell the house because I'm sinking. I'm $37,000 in debt, and I'm in panic, and I'm barely earning. I'm just starting out as, a YouTuber, and I'm not earning nearly enough to like keep me afloat. So I'm like, right, we got to get this done. We got to sell. Now that I have a deed, I can sell. And once I sell, I can settle up what I owe so that I can clear any contracts that are now in existence of this private mortgage deal, because I need to be clear of it. I need to be absolutely 100% clear of it. It's a bad business deal, and I don't want to be in a bad business deal because I'm not a moron. So the stress that I've been under for the last 3 years with this legal case has been insane. Like the cortisol that has been pumping through my body for the last 3 years has been absolutely insane. So I finally sold my house in June. The close of the house was August. And that cleared me from one contract. Now, there is still this lingering, finalization of my mother's estate to be worked out. And so there's been more legal letters back and forth, asking for this, that, and the other, making it clear of how much more money I'm getting shafted. And of course, that's more legal letters that I have to pay for as there's all these negotiatings going on. And so yesterday, I finally emailed my lawyer again, and I'm like, when is this going to end? When am I going to get this monkey off my fucking back? Didn't say it quite like that to him. I was as brief as humanly possible. I'm like, when's this going to end? And he's like, well, they've got a couple more things to iron out, and it should be the end of next week. Okay, so we'll see. We will see when and if. But my point to sharing all this with you is the fact that my body, through my Kundalini, through Kali coming in and destroying me, ripping me apart like a fucking wolf, just ripping me to shreds, and had me on a floor in anxiety and fear and panic and terror and just the worst. I am a different human than I was 3 years ago. I was very ignorant, naive, and believed a lot of things. Like I had family. I don't believe that anymore. I know the truth that has come about because in this process, I've lost my family. And that's fine because at least I know what is truth. And I'm standing in my own integrity because I know I always acted from a place of care and compassion. And the same was not afforded to me, and that's okay. It's not my responsibility to take care of other people's. It's my responsibility to take care of me. So in this last little while, I'm learning now to regulate my nervous system, which is even more challenging. Like you get these notions in your head of like these movie scenes where somebody is going through hell for a long period of time, and then they like sit themselves down on their front porch and they're finally like free, and they're like, peace. Yeah, that's not how it is. Okay, that's not how it is. How it is having all these releases because I am technically safe in, like, I'm renting this little place, and I'm safe. It's just me in here. I am safe. My debt is paid to my brother. My debt is paid to the bank, so I'm out of debt. So I'm like, okay, I am safe. I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm okay for just like a moment. I'm okay. I can catch my breath. I can take a breather. I can like read a book. I can take a course. I can recorrect. But I'm going through all of this like releases. You can only go so long burning on cortisol in a state of like readiness and alertness and hypervigilance and panic and preparedness, and then you collapse. So when you get safe, you collapse. I'm exhausted. I am so tired. It's taken me at least, geez, I don't even know how long have I been here now. We're almost at 2 months. So it's been about 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and I had a really messed up interruption in that threw me back into hypervigilance and back into fawning, when what I needed most was to downregulate and have some downtime and some peace to get myself situated first. And, life lessons came in and taught me again more lessons on putting other people's needs ahead of my own. So this whole process has been like for 3 solid years. And it has made me see what I am capable of getting through, my resilience. It's pushed out every single solitary trauma and release and everything with it. It's been hellish, but I was surviving. I was surviving. I was holding on by a thread many days. Like there were many days that all I could do was go from my bedroom and walk into the garden and lie down on the ground and hold onto the grass for dear life and spend like 4 to 8 hours in constant prayer as I'm going through dark night of the soul and feeling the entire world around me collapsing, as I am having everything from every angle. I'm having physical pain. I'm having legal pain. I'm having emotional pain. I'm having like spiritual like happenstances. I mean, like it was just every single area. And so you move eventually from surviving into recovery. And that's where I am now. And I'm giving myself, a full year. I've signed a year lease. And after that, like, honestly, I've never in my life known nothing. Like, I know nothing about where I'm going. And I don't know how many of you can resonate with this because, I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what car I'm going to be driving because I'm taking driving lessons to get myself sorted out. I don't know what job I'm going to be doing or what country I'm even going to be in. I don't know what people are going to be in my life because currently there are none. I'm living as a monk. I don't know what my health is going to be like because I'm still dealing with the fistula situation. I'm still dealing with my nervous system regulation. I'm still dealing with trying to get myself like, back situated and sorted. And the recovery is as hard as the surviving. And you don't anticipate that. So I'm going to let you know that like after you've been surviving and using all the coping mechanisms to help you survive, and then you put them down and you're just like, now you have to recover. It's hard. It is hard. I don't know what next week is going to bring. I'm hoping it's going to bring an end to this legal bullshit. And then I can sink another layer into my recovery. And with it, in this recovery phase, it is coming up all kinds of emotions that I didn't anticipate. For example, there's been a lot of shame that's, come up, like oh man, I should have my life more together than it is now. I should be doing better than I am. I should be happier. I should be like having a Robin Wright moment. She did a movie where she was living in a cabin all like peacefully. I should be having a movie moment, which I'm not having. Instead, I'm sad. I'm grieving. I am stressed. I'm nervous. I am jumpy. I'm jittery. Like, I'm going through all kinds of releases. I don't like it. So I've got this shame stuff happening. I got my super ego overactivated, and I'm like, okay, shush, little critical mind. I know where you come from. We don't need to go down this path. And then I also have guilt that's coming up, and I'm like, whoa. I'm not doing this. No, guilt, you and I can have a little chat about this. But it's there whether I want to do it or not, because the guilt of having to cut people out of your life that have knowingly or unknowingly, either way, it doesn't really matter, harmed you. When people are harming you, you need to cut the rope. You need to cut the rope. And there is so much guilt that comes with that, because people pleasing or fawning is a program that comes into existence to help you survive as a child. And it's a program that's self-regulated through the inner critic, as well as through the guilt that's been like programmed into you. So it's like when you try to break free from something, from an old way of being, from an old belief structure, from an old program, there's like these safeties that come in and go, you're not allowed to escape from that thinking. You're not allowed to escape from that behavior. If you escape from that behavior, then, you should feel guilty about it, because, you should be there for them. You should be supporting them. You should be more understanding. You should this, you should that. So, right now it's very noisy in my head, is what it is. And so that's why I'm very grateful to have this course, Compassionate Inquiry, because that's what I need most of all right now is a compassionate inquiry into, why am I like feeling the way that I am? Why am I not allowing myself to feel the compassion that I should feel towards myself? Because if any other person on the planet told me, okay, that they went through a divorce from a narcissistic individual that truth bombed them and told them that they'd molested children, which broke their brain, and they had a nervous breakdown, and they had a Kundalini, and they had chronic pain for 5 solid years for a misdiagnosed condition, and they had multitude of other misdiagnosed conditions that had no reflection onto the trauma that they'd actually had. They were experiencing complex post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as PTSD, with emotional flashbacks that were coming to the surface, and a lot of like bodily sensations through Kundalini, and overwhelming sensory systems happening. And then on top of that, they were experiencing spiritual warfare and all kinds of spiritual gifts coming online with zero instruction, and a complete collapse financially, and lost their home, lost their friends, and lost everything. I would be like, oh my God. Come here, and I'm going to just hold you and rock you for a little bit. And so that's what I'm doing now, is holding myself and rocking myself for a little bit, because that's what I would do for anyone else, is I would hold space for them and say, like, that's crazy. It's remarkable that you're alive. Your resiliency is amazing. And if you're going through, these crazy situations now that you're safe. So, first there's surviving through the unsafe, and then there's getting somewhere safe, and your nervous system is like, I'm safe? What the fuck? I'm safe? Like, nobody's like, so it takes time for the nervous system to believe that you're safe. It takes time for the mind to be able to like step into the new, so you've been working so hard at facing old stuff that's come up and processed through it and alchemized it and transmuted it and this and that. So now you're in this new energy of like, okay, things are different. I've shifted so much that my life is so different, and now I don't know what anything is. I know nothing. I know zero thing from one day to the next of what's going to happen. And all you can do is be in the present moment. And all you can do is pray like every single day, multiple times a day. God, please show me the way. Like, show me what you want from my life. Like, lead me, guide me. I don't know where I'm going here. I have no idea where I'm going or what you want from me. And be compassionate and be gentle to yourself when you're going through this, because I can't even begin to explain it unless you're going through it. The words kind of like fail to give the depth of meaning of this process. So at the present moment in time, I'm living day to day, and it's not even day to day at times. It's more like hour to hour, or even 20 minutes to 20 minutes, because in this 20 minutes in the mornings, particularly, it can be bad. It can be really, really bad. And then I'm like, it's okay. You're going to get through this. There's no other way to get through it than through it. So face it. There is no more deny it, repress it, numb it. There is none of that. You have to just feel it. And so you have to feel the sad. You have to feel the grief. You have to feel the anger. You have to feel the hatred. You have to feel the rage. You have to feel the sadness. You have to feel it all. And just sitting in the feeling is horrible. It's absolutely horrible, especially when you've spent your entire life avoiding it, because that's how you had to survive. You couldn't feel it. It was never safe. It was never, ever, ever safe for you. You never had somebody to hold space for you before. And so you have to learn to hold space for yourself. And so I'll hold space for myself, and then it's okay. What can I handle in this next 10 minutes? Okay, I can do 10 minutes of yoga. That's it. That's all I can master is 10 minutes. So I do 10 minutes of yin yoga. And then what can I master now? I can do maybe like half an hour of my course and focus on my course. And that's great. I'm going to do that. And then it's like, okay, what can I do now? I can do half an hour of like doing some dishes or something like that. And then you do that. And then you're like, okay, what can I do now? Oh, I can eat now. So like, it's literally the smallest of increments of what you can do to survive from 10 minutes to the next 10 minutes to the next 10 minutes. And it's exhausting. And the most exhausting part is the mind. It is going through the process of every single thought that comes in and reprogramming it. And it's okay. It's okay. You're safe. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel anger. If I were in your shoes, I would feel anger too. I'm having a lot of internal dialogue with all the different aspects of myself that are integrating back into wholeness as I come into a place of finally peace. So this void space, this cocoon space that I'm in, this monk life that I'm in right now is a necessary part of my awakening journey. What awaits me on the other end of it, I don't know. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm kind of breaking it up as in, 1 to 3 months, it's going to be a bit bumpy. And then hopefully it starts to smooth out. And then hopefully by the end, I'm going to finally be like calm and relaxed and feeling some more comfort and feeling some more like stability and feeling some more confidence. in myself again, because I've given myself a mission that I'm going to be internationally traveling on my own. And I can't do that if I'm still in PTSD. I can't do that. I used to travel. I have traveled alone when I was younger. And when I was in a very masked state, but I want to be authentically me and do some trips coming up, just to show myself that I am sovereign, to show myself that I am capable, to show myself that there's absolutely fucking nothing that I won't do or can't do. I'm scared to drive. That's not going to get in my way. I'm going to learn to drive. My driving lessons are going quite well. Thank you very much. So I've got that test coming up. I'm scared to do this course. I'm going to do this course. I'm scared to travel internationally. I'm going to travel internationally. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I have already dragged myself from where I was in 2019, and you've seen the photos, and the photos don't even begin to give you an idea of what it was like on the inside. They only give you an interpretation of what it was like on the outside. And if I can get from there to here, then damn well I can get from here to the vision of who I want to be. The type of woman that I want to be, independent, sovereign, confident, successful, peaceful, compassionate, loving, and living my best life. Living. That's the goal. So I guess today's video is a little bit of a heads up that recovery post-survival is not like survival to thrive. It doesn't go, I'm surviving and then all of a sudden I'm starting to thrive. It goes surviving, recovering, and then hopefully 2026 is we're going to start to see some thriving happen in the world of B. That's the mission, and I'm getting a little feisty. And I'm getting a little bit more absolute that nothing is going to stop me. I will do whatever it takes, because I share my stories so that you know that anything is possible. You can go from being a diabetic to being healthy. You can go from being obese to being skinny. You can go from having inflammation all over your body and a fucked up gut system. You can heal that. I can help you heal your gut. Lots of people have been talking to me lately about gut issues and inflammation issues. You can go from being a smoker to a non-smoker. You can go from being a drinker to a non-drinker. You can go from being a pothead to totally and 100% clean. You can go from being in a trauma-bonded, abusive marriage and find your own sovereignty and find your own power and your own boundaries. You can go from being enmeshed in codependent situations and find independence. You can go from being in debt to out of debt. Yes, it will require sacrifice. Sacrifice the big old house, the things you don't need. You can go from being a hoarder and having a whole bunch of shit to selling all that crap, liquidating and becoming free. So you can go from being bound, imprisoned, and living a life of fucking misery to thriving. Now, I'm not thriving yet, but I'm recovering. And recovering is a hell of a lot better, even though it's still a lot of fluctuations. It's a whole lot better than where I was. So it is. And if I can do it, you can do it. Because I'm nobody special. I wasn't born with like superpowers. I'm a human. You are a human. So if I can do it, you can do it. And that's my mission, is to share that you can go from having the worst fucking childhood ever, from adoption, from sexual abuse, from emotional abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, ritual abuse. You can go from being bullied and having zero confidence and feeling suicidal, and you can turn it around. You can heal. You can heal. That's it. That's my mission, is to prove that healing is possible. And I'll find the tools to do it, because it's all within the realm of possibility. If I can do this much that far, I can do the rest. So that's my message to you in the middle of the night, in my little hobbit home in the enchanted forest, living as a monk, which I never in a million years would have pictured myself doing. But from this day forth, everything in my life is going to be something that I never pictured myself doing. Because I never pictured myself being this person, living this life, doing anything that I'm doing. So every single day is new. It's new. The energies are cuckoo, babes. We still got like a lot of planets in retrograde, and I'm riding this out. So I am. And every single day, little changes, they add up. They add up over time. If you make one change every single day for 365 days, like the amount you change in your life is like, it's huge. It's huge. Just every single day. If you need help, reach on out. Join the Spiritual Warrior Support Group. It's an excellent place to help co-regulate everybody and give everybody else a chance to talk. If you want a private one-on-one with me, shoot me off an email. Let me know. With that all said, thank you. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you for all of the support. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Thank you for believing in me. Because sometimes you guys believed in me and kept me going when I didn't. And so for that, I am eternally grateful. I wouldn't be here without you. I wouldn't. So I am so incredibly grateful for the support that I've received along this path. You have no idea. Because I didn't get support where I thought I would, but I did get it from you. And you don't know how much you can change a person's life just by dropping a comment. It's true. Mwah.